Welcome to Restaurant Martin Wishart. We're here in Leith on the shore. It's a sunny, fine Thursday morning. In 1999, Leith was very different. A lot less restaurants and pubs, but it always had that attraction for people to come down to from Edinburgh to be by the shore. And I just fell in love with the area of Leith. The difficulties, I guess, are just getting your name out there. I stuck an A4 sheet of paper on the window with opening soon, French restaurant, Restaurant Martin Wishart. That was it. The first night, we did nobody. The second night, we did 2 people. The real moment that the restaurant lifted and took off was when Roux came to the opening 6 weeks after. I'd just left working from at the Grand in Amsterdam a year and a half before. When I told him, look, I'm going to leave Amsterdam, I'm going to go back to Edinburgh, I'm going to be opening my own place, he said to me, I wish you the best of luck. When you do find your restaurant, give me a call, I'll come and visit you. So that's what I did. I called them up. We put together a guest list of journalists. Everybody wanted to come to meet the famous Mr. Roux. And he walked in through the front door. I was in my kitchen, and he said to my wife, Cecile, he said, this is a lovely restaurant. It reminds me of Le Ton Clair. I wanted to put on the menu things that I wanted to cook, use the techniques that I'd learned in the kitchens I'd worked in. We offered tasting menus at the very beginning, but it wasn't called a tasting menu then. It was a surprise menu where the waiting staff would say, the chef can prepare a surprise menu for you, 4 or 5 or 6 courses. I no longer work in the kitchen every service, but I'm heavily involved in the business. I work along with Joe, the chef. We write the menus together. Now, Joe's been with us, forgive me if I'm wrong, but around 23, 24 years. He just started training as a chef, came through the door. I interviewed him, and when he left, Cecile had walked in. She said to me, who is that you just spoke to? I said, I've just offered that young lad a job. Why? She said, oh, he was jumping up and down when he left. He was actually physically jumping up and down and punching the air. He's a big support for me. So let me take you through to the kitchen. We're going to meet Joe. Joe. So this is Joe Taggart. He's worked with me for 25 years, Joe?
Yes.
25 years. So Joe's going to demonstrate a couple of dishes today to you guys. The duck dish is one that's developed, and it's one that Joe's brought in, but the same techniques that we've used in the past. So currently the duck's been sous vide and cooked in the bath. We'll finish it in a pan, caramelise it skin side down. And the ducks are from St Bride's, a small producer in the west of Scotland. Robert Morris, supplier since I opened the restaurant. And he has the most fantastic chickens, ducks and guinea fowl. It's fine tartlet that's got puy lentils. The puy lentils are finished with a little shallot cream, chopped parsley, and a little bit of sherry vinegar just to cut through that richness. Before we put that into the tartlet, we've got some confit duck from the leg, which has been pulled apart with your fingers and added at the last minute. So once the duck's rested, it's cut, served on the plate. The dish is finished with some citrus with the blood orange. There we have the roast St Bride's duck breast with confit leg, puy lentils, tartlet and blood oranges. 2001, you know, that's a while ago, but I do remember it very clearly. I was in the kitchen, the restaurant phone went, which was just outside the door. I picked it up and it was a customer. And he said to me, I just phoned in to congratulate you. I said, well, congratulate me on what, Mr. Matthews? He says, you've just been awarded a Michelin star. He subscribed to the guide, and as a subscriber, you were given the book ahead of it being published. I was in a bit of a daze because the truth is I opened my restaurant not to gain stars. I wanted to be my own boss, cook my own food. We had a busy lunch. We didn't really celebrate. It sunk in later on that week. Consistency is a key factor in holding the star for so long. The longest in Scotland currently, yes. 24 years, fingers crossed, 25 next year. So today we're going to prepare a fillet of Scrabster Turbot with white asparagus. We buy in the fish whole. It's obviously filleted. We take the skin off.
Just season it. Just place it with some buckwheat flour.
And it's just cooked in the pan.
Put on obviously garlic, and then I'm just putting some blanched Tisby cabbage in.
The asparagus is finished and in a butter emulsion. The rest of the garnish for that dish is very simple. We have the turbot, the asparagus, morels, which we actually poach them in chicken jus and some butter emulsion, a little bit of garlic and some thyme, and we just set that at the side of the stove so they're just continuously added in there and cooked so the stock gets stronger and more flavoursome as the service goes on. And the dish finished with a truffle cream, which has chicken velouté and foie gratine blitzed to quite a thick consistency and chopped truffle added to it. So there we have the roasted Scrabster Turbot with white asparagus, morels and a truffle cream. It is delicious. A dish that's currently on it, so it's on the menu at the moment, signifies Restaurant Martin Wishart, I would say would be Orkney scallops, roasted, come in the shell, they're hand dived, they're beautiful, big ones, served with Wye Valley asparagus, with a nice light pea velouté infused with some smoked pancetta. It's very light, it's very seasonal, it's very simple. But the key is the quality of the scallops from Orkney are superb. Training staff is a big thing, putting them through an apprenticeship, sending them away to work in another kitchen, closing the restaurant down and taking all your team over to a 2-star in Holland to do a special event there. Having good front of house is without doubt the key success to a great restaurant. They have to be passionate, they have to be understanding to what the customer's needs are, they have to be great at teamwork together as well. We've had 4 restaurant managers in 26 years. Alessio has now been the restaurant manager for just over a year, and he did work with me before for around 4 years, here in the restaurant as a junior member of staff, but also in the brasserie as an assistant manager. I've always promoted within. The real key success for the restaurant, I think, is my wife, Cecile, to come and open the restaurant with me. We weren't married at the time, and without a doubt, it was Cecile's charm in the front of house that attracted the guests to come back. How's the food evolved over 26 years? The basics haven't. The stocks and the sauces are solid, rock solid. What has changed though is dishes develop. You make small tweaks, you make small changes to them, but having such a extensive repertoire of dishes, we're bringing back dishes that we were serving in '99. I'm a big fan of working with pasta. I always have been. So the ravioli of Snails with Shetland mussels, new seasoned garlic velouté, very light, and parsley oil and baby leeks. So now I'm just going to take you on a little tour of Leith and show you some of the places that I like to visit, some great people that run these restaurants and bars, and some of the sights around. Should we go and say hello? Tom and I have had a a great history when you first came into our restaurant.
Like, I always remember how welcoming you were as when I was a young lad thinking about opening a restaurant here in Leith. And I'll never forget our first week when we opened. In you come through the back door, magnum of champagne, wishing us the best of luck. I always remember that. Yeah. Leith has changed, but it all started with Restaurant Martin Wishart on the waterfront there. It was always the next big thing, but it didn't feel that it had ever really taken off at the beginning. And then all of a sudden it's exploded, and it's really a privilege to be a part of the Leith community and the food scene.
Of course, we want to showcase the best ingredients that we've got here in Scotland.
No, but I think as well staying relevant is, for me personally as well, is like the talent that I have underneath me as well now. And that's the next
you on
generation.
your toes.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
You keep them on their toes.
Well, every now and again.
Here we have the Heron restaurant, another Michelin star. Sam York's the chef owner. And you know, within less than 500 metres between Restaurant Martin Wishart, Heron and the kitchen, you know, visitors down to the shore, down to Leith, have got 3 restaurants with stars to choose from, amongst other fish restaurants, coffee shops, bars. So this is a very famous building in Leith, Cable's Wynd, otherwise known as the Banana Flats, due to the shape of them. Built in 1965, made notorious in Irvine Welsh's train spotting. And here's the first restaurant, Fisher's, which has been established for quite a number of years. It was certainly opened before I opened in '99. But here, predominantly they serve seafood, and it is a regular and a big favourite of people from the city and in Leith. Now we're at the crossroads of the shore in Bernard Street here, and over my shoulder is the King's Wark pub. This has been here for well over 100 years, and you know, it's famous as a local area for coming for a drink, but it's also probably one of the best breakfasts you'll get in Leith, especially on a Sunday. It's very popular. To see other restaurants that open up, it's fantastic. You know, I'm a big supporter of anywhere that opens that's new, making sure that I go in and say hello, welcome them to the area, wish them the best of luck. So we are in the fantastic restaurant called Duthchas here in Leith, and this is Alex McDonald, owner, along with Paul.
Paul Gunning, yeah.
The reason I wanted to bring you in here was just to talk to Alex and his chef here, Nathan. I was here with my wife Cecile around 6 weeks ago. It's the first time I'd been into the restaurant, and what can I say? It was absolutely fabulous. The food, the service, the price point as well, the creativity with the dishes, the flavours, everything just, for me, it's hitting that point, you know, it's on that road for Michelin success. Also, personally, it brought back strong memories of my first restaurant, Martin Wishart's, the original building that I had, which was very similar to this.
I spent a bit of time living in Leith, about sort of 15 to 16 years ago, when Leith was, you know, this edgy sort of, you know, slight sort of watch it back a little bit. Fast forward, you know, 10 years just after lockdown, it just seems like it's become the food mecca. What Martin's done for Martin Wishart's restaurant is, you know, shown that it can be done. Yeah, it's inspirational.
Also in Leith, we have the little chart room, which is Roberta Hall-McCarron and her husband Sean's restaurant. And it's a welcome addition to Leith. This used to be my cookery school. It's the property here. It was a very successful part of the business in the way of it marketed the restaurant and everything else that we were doing. It was also doubled up as, you know, when we had functions on or events, charity events, we'd do a lot of prep in here as well.
We actually opened up the little chart room up on Leith Walk back in 2018. In a very, very small site. 2018 we opened up, obviously went through the pandemic, etc., all that fun stuff. And then the opportunity for this site came up. We had a food truck on Portugal Promenade, and we were thinking about turning that concept into something else. And so we came down here to look at this site. It just felt like the right really organic kind of move to make that slightly bigger step to a bigger site.
You know, seeing that transformation over 25, 26 years, people like yourself coming in, places that were here before that are still here.
Yeah.
It's, you know, I think, why go into the town?
I mean, why?
Yeah.
Let's get them all down here. And we were connected to Soano, the tram as well, which is fantastic. Like, that's really changed things. And like when Nauticus opened up, I lived opposite a bar called Nauticus, and it absolutely thrives. Like, it's so many people on people's lists of their favourite place to go to for a drink. So
Fantastic cocktails.
and amazing. That's the wonderful thing about Nauticus, because you can go in for a pint, you can go in for a cocktail, you can go in for a glass of wine. Like, they've got everything.
Well, there are so many other places that, you know, I'd love to show you. You know, this, we don't have the time. So
There is a real community feel. They very much support each other. I think whenever you've got guests coming into the restaurants and they're asking for recommendations of other places to eat, the first ones that I'm always going to recommend are all the ones that are within in this lovely, amazing area. And I love it down here. And I've not seen 26 years of growth, but I've seen maybe about sort of 15 years. And the impact that Martin Wishart's had on the Leith area is huge.
here we have down in the port of Leith, as you can see, we've got the old customs building here. You do get the odd cruise ship and a lot of boats that are coming in working on cabling in the North Sea. But here you have the fabulous Fingal, which is the latest addition to Leith, and this is a 5-star hotel. Hi there. Hello, how are you? You okay? Perfect timing.
Perfect timing, as always.
Nice.
So the guests normally come in this door. Come in, we set up 6 foot rounds, whatever the setup is, it's bespoke for each client. This is a focal point of the ship. When guests come on, they love it in here. This is the engine room.
So what was the ship being used for before it arrived to Leith?
It was a lighthouse tender. So it was,
Okay.
It took supplies, staff, removed anything that wasn't required to all the lighthouses round about Scotland.
Oh, really?
The coast.
So Runagal is one of our duplex cabins. All our cabins are named after the Stevenson lighthouses, as Fingal was a former northern lighthouse vessel. You're definitely not seasick. The floor is uneven.
Yeah.
It's normal. It is normal. And it is very much how a gentleman used to stay on board of a vessel like this. So
Out here,
And we would come on a great day to view the...
oh, you've picked a day.
Yeah.
Picked the best day.
Yeah.
This is actually, we call this the Moe deck. We've got a partnership with Moe,
Okay.
and they 1743 Moe was conceived. 1743 every day we ring the bell, and everyone that's here will get a wee taste of champagne.
Oh, nice. Every day.
Every day.
What do you do when it's raining and it's blowing a gale?
It's the guest choice if they come out.
Very good.
Depends how brave you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think I'm most proud of the fact that what I set up to do, open a restaurant, has been a dream from the age of around 21. You look at where you are now, and I think, you know, still here after 26 years is something to be proud of.